For me, James Degale stole the show tonight. It was perhaps a pay-per-view that lacked world-class moments. A lot of fights went late. A lot of fights were scrappy, a bit messy. You had two clinical performances, if you like. Anthony Joshua and James Degale. For me, the reason James Degale steals the show is because, unlike Anthony Joshua, he fought a comparatively fresh opponent. Now, Mark Periban's one of these guys who probably isn't a world beater. He probably isn't a top 10 super middleweight. But in my opinion, he is a solid top 20, top 25 super middleweight, at least before tonight. Having watched the fight, there can be some questions about his desire. He looked quite fleshy. I know he missed weight. To me, he looked more like a light heavyweight than a super middleweight. But from his previous history, we know that he's a durable guy. I know he's been on a bit of a streak of losses and draws, but all of those have been relatively close fights. He's been live in all of them. He's been competitive in all of them, and he's never been stopped. He's clearly a very big, very rugged super middleweight. But James Degale tonight was on another planet of ability. James Degale's, I've said this before, I think probably technically Britain's best boxer. His movement around the ring, his hand speed, his combination punching, his shot selection is absolutely devastating. I think the thing with James Degale is, the more I look at it, the more I'm buying into the fact that he has actually been plagued with injuries. It sounded like excuses at the time when he was having all them fights on Channel 5 and labouring to victory, sitting on the ropes looking unconvincing. But what we're seeing now is a different level of fighter. We're seeing a world-class fighter at the minute, specifically in his performances against Marco Periban and Gonzalez at Wembley last time. He looks a terrifying puncher as well. He's taken out these guys who've never been stopped, and he's handing them a beating. Nobody's ever done that to Periban tonight like James Degale was able to. I think it was a third round stoppage, and he certainly won the second round, won the first round, more of a tight round, but utterly dominant from James Degale, and he looked a class above. I'll put down some thoughts on George Groves tomorrow, but what I can say is, based on the performances tonight, and possibly performances last time out as well, James Degale at present looks the fresher and more threatening fighter. I'll do another video tomorrow as to has George Groves been cobraed, and probably some more thoughts on the Degale fight as well. But for me, Degale stole the show.